Welcome back to another edition of the Panther's Den here at Morton College. I'm your host, Simon Steiner. Today we have with us from Morton College Baseball, we have starting pitcher Ludovic Messier, and we have first baseman Miguel Cantu, and we have shortstop Luke Brabham. So the first question I have for you three is the first question I ask almost everybody here on Panther's Den. Why did you choose Morton College?
Well, I got the offer, not last year, but the year before, during Christmas. The previous coach, Tad, called me, and he said he wanted me to come as a last-minute type of pitcher, to just get more pitchers. And then he kind of did it too late, so I had to wait a year. So I came last year, and that was basically my good offer to come play baseball in the U.S.
And for me, bouncing around the recruiting class in my senior year, I was choosing some other JUCOs, and I did this PBR showcase, unsigned senior showcase in February, right before the high school season started. And well, Guido called me up, and I actually ghosted him for a few minutes, and then I decided to call him up, and he's like, "Oh, we like what we see. Oh, we like what we saw from the showcase," and offered me a full ride, and that was the best offer I had at the time, so I just took it.
Well, and for me, so my high school coach, Lee Milano, he had 3 sons come here. He had Joe Milano, Anthony Milano, and Don Milano, and Joe was on the team last year, and he was kind of the one who let Guido know kind of who I was. So in a way, Joe led the recruiting process for me. Guido reached out, and about halfway through my senior season, I decided that this would be the right place for me, and that's pretty much how I got here.
So a few of you mentioned Coach Chris Guido. How do you like playing for him now that you've got half a season under your belts?
I think Guido's a pretty good coach. I think he's I've seen a lot of coaches that get angry directly at the players or will scream at the players. I think he's a really tame guy. I feel like a lot of coaches will make you run because they oh, we did bad, we'll just run, and that's not how he works. So I think he's really a coach that will value the players or how the players are.
What I think about Guido is that he really let me enjoy the game of baseball, because like I said, coming from St. Rita, which is a prolific baseball program, there is a lot of expectations, and for me I was pretty much this kid coming out of nowhere, in the middle of the city of Chicago, and I didn't really get that much playing time. It was hard for me to find a position, actually enjoy the game of baseball. And once I came here, Guido, considering he's one of the youngest coach that I ever met, he actually let me enjoy the game of baseball in my way, and of course the rest is history right now. I'm been playing the best baseball I've ever been played.
And to build off of Miguel, I just like the way Coach allows us to be ourselves. I remember one time Guido just said, just be who you are on the field. And I feel like that allows me, especially at shortstop, to just kind of control how we're going to play and kind of bring that energy. And I like being able to back up Ludo and our rest of our pitching staff, because if we bring the energy and we bring the intensity, it allows Ludo and the rest of the pitchers to feel hopefully comfortable to trust us and just get us going.
You guys have seemed to have a bit more success than you have in past years. What would you attribute that to?
At least for me, last year we had a big step compared to the years before, and then this year we had I would say about the same step, or maybe a little step over. And I think it's just really the work the people put in, how our players talk to each other. I don't know for the hitting side, but I know the guys just are in the cage just talking basically about baseball, about hitting, and they make it really hard to get them out when we do scrimmages together.
I attribute my success obviously for me to God, because he helped me pave the way with my faith and believing in myself. the coaches and my teammates, most importantly, they gave me so much energy, like laughing around. Like that's what baseball is for, is to have fun and then actually enjoy the game, because it's a kid's game. That's how I grew up, and I always like laughing and joking around in baseball games. So that's what I attribute my success to.
Yeah, I think the biggest success for this team is just like the overall camaraderie that we have together. I feel like a lot of times, even when we're losing or we're down, we're still pretty much strong and together. And I feel that bond was created while we were in the max and just practicing during the winter, because we had so many days where it was kind of just a lull, like the winter gets repetitive. So once we were able to figure out like that we had this passion for the game and that everyone just liked being around each other, it made it easy for us to play for each other. Because I can't do what I do without Miguel and without Ludo, without the rest of the guys, because one guy's not going to win this whole thing. We need a whole team in order to do that. So I attribute everything to the other guys on here, the team.
And Ludo, what do you throw?
I have a cutter, two-seam, splitter, and slider right now.
What was your best pitch?
I would say cutter still.
Does Alex call a game for you, or does that come from the dugout?
No, it comes from Brody, and then we talk about like in between innings. We talk at the start of the game. It's always different, and I change my stuff a lot with like my approaches, even my pitches sometimes. And then like I just have to talk to him like constantly, and he just basically listens to what I have to say, and then if I have a problem with him, what he's calling, not with him. Like I just talk to him, and then it's solved the next inning.
So Luke, defensively, your stats are actually not too bad from what I've seen. What do you focus on when you're out there playing shortstop?
I'm trying to focus on putting our defense in the best position to succeed. I try to tell people like what I might think is best and what Coach Guido might think is best. I take advice from a lot of people. I just try to make sure that if we can be in the best position for our pitchers that I or Guido think that we should be, that I think we can put ourselves in the best position to win. Obviously, baseball's an ever-changing game, and people can put different swings on the ball, and sometimes I won't be right, but I like the way that we play defense, and if we keep playing the aggressive style, I think we'll continue to do well.
And Miguel, first base is first and foremost considered to be an offensive position, but what aspects of your defense do you focus on?
I actually try to be like somewhat of a good defender than I actually am a hitter. I try to take pride in my defense. Even though like I have a couple scuffles here and there, I try to fix it. Really like help out my fielders like Luke. Whenever he makes like a bad throw, I try to save it, because I'm pretty flexible, and like that's one of the things that helps like becoming a good first baseman. And just working on my scoops and taking routine grounders, because sometimes when I take a grounder, I tend to like throw it to the pitcher, and sometimes I don't take it to the bag. So I try to be more aggressive with that, with my approach defensively.
So let's talk about the offensive side of the ball now. Luke, you tend to set the table for people like Miguel to knock you in. You bat number 2. You bat cleanup, Miguel. What do you focus on the offensive side of the ball?
Well, for me, especially at the start of the game, I like to just see how our leadoff hitter Ryan does. Usually Ryan takes a very good first at bat. He tends to draw out a longer at bat so I can see what type of pitches he has. And whenever Ryan gets on base, it allows me to just focus on getting him into scoring position, because I know I have Brody and I know I have Miguel coming up behind me. So it takes some of that pressure off of me of being the guy that has to drive someone in. I know I can set the table up for the guys who can run produce, and that just allows me to be more of a contact hitter, which I consider myself to be. So it allows me to be more of myself in the box.
And for me, obviously being the cleanup hitter, Ryan, Luke, and Brody, they set the tone for me, and I do what I do best, drive in runs, and I try to do it like the best way as possible. Sometimes I'm not going to have good at-bats, so I try to make sure like I get like a grounder to the right side and try to at least get someone home, because my job is to produce runs and obviously get more runs than the other team. So for me, I do the best of my abilities to drive the ball the other way, and just do what I do.
And how happy are you, Ludo, that there's a DH?
Not very.
No?
I would like the DH to disappear so I can hit.
You want to go to old school national?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about campus life here at Morton College. How's your guys' experience?
Well, I don't live on campus. I live about 15 minutes from here, and I think I really like the classes. I really like the libraries and stuff on campus. I think our sports facility here, the E building, is pretty top notch. I really like you can just work out basically whenever. I think it closes at 10, and after 10 you don't really want to work out. So there's always a time to go there. But yeah, I think overall it's a very pretty campus for like a pretty small college.
Kind of like what Ludo was saying, I live 15 minutes away from the campus. So when I get here, usually I work out before like classes because it kind of gets me going, like my mind mentally. And then obviously in class, like it keeps me engaged. Right now I'm taking like a speech class. It allows me to like actually like speak like in interviews like this. It helps me get better educationally and academically. So, and also like hanging around with these guys at Building E most of the time. That's usually the spot that I go to. But obviously like the cafeteria, the student life, the one-stop center, I use that frequently when I try to do homework. So it's really nice, and it's improving a lot too.
And like them, I live at home with my parents. I'm about 25-ish minutes away. It can be a little longer based off of traffic, but I always get here early. I usually leave about an hour before my first class and get here about 30 minutes before. And I just like hanging around. You know, I've just trying to get to know different people than I might, because like as athletes, we all know kind of like all the other athletes, but class allows me to get to know people that I might not have otherwise gotten to know. And I just appreciate that, because it's a certain like aspect that I would not even know if I wasn't attending in-person classes. So I just like the ability to get to know different people and just to see everyone in this type of environment.
The last question I have for you, gentlemen, is why would the Morton College community want to come out and support Morton College baseball at Bells Park?
Well, I think we're getting great strides to like improving the baseball team. I think the baseball team is basically the highest it's ever been on the rankings, or like on the top of like wins. We might even beat the win record this year. It's a great group of guys. It's great energy, and it's always fun to have people just come out to the games and just watch us, cheer for us, and it always just makes you almost like play better.
So actually my mom actually attended Morton like 5 years ago, and she was actually doing classes here. And like ever since then, this campus has improved dramatically, including the baseball team. It wasn't very good the past 5 years, but right now, like Ludo was saying, we're improving every aspect of Morton College. For these next couple of years, I feel like it's going to improve even more, including our recruitment class. There's a lot more guys that are as talented as us coming in next year, and hopefully the next few years and the future.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about coming to a game is that we're going to try to make it as fun as possible. We got music, we got a lot of different personalities on the team, and we're going to let those personalities shine, especially when we're having a good game going. So just come out, see what it's like, and you can even build some camaraderie with us just by cheering us on. So we hope to see you there.
Well, gentlemen, merci, gracias, and thank you very much for joining us on the Panthers Den. If you'd like to learn more about Morton College baseball or any of the other 12 sports offered here at Morton College, please log into www.gomcpanthers.com. For Panthers Den, I'm Simon Steiner. We'll see you next time.